Hi everyone, Lady Scorpion here, and we are back today with some more Final Fantasy Online, and we're going to be talking about the Rising event that is going on. So without further ado, let's get right into it. Rising Memories of Yesteryear Brought to Life is a seasonal event that goes from August 27th at 12 a.m. to Monday, September 14th until 7:59 a.m. and that's Pacific time. But what you're gonna want to do is you're gonna want to go to Ul'dah, and you're gonna want to go to the steps of Null, and it's gonna be coordinates X 10.3 and Y 8.3. So if you bring your map up, it's going to be right over here in this area. And it's going to be called Art of Glass. You have to be level 15 in order to do this. As you can see, the quest is level 15. This is my first year doing this because this is my first year playing Final Fantasy Online. But we're going to go pick this up. We're going to start it and we're going to see what it's all about. And we're going to go from there. So, the Art of Glass, the Rising Festival, is known for bringing a splash of color to Ul'dah, and this year's celebration is especially vibrant. Let's go and let's see what this event has in store for us. I think the event items that you can get is a minion, and I think the minion is Wind Up Ardbert, and the item that you can get is the Sultana 7, which is a wall picture. And I will post those up here when I edit the video so you guys can see what those both look like. But alright, we're going to go over here and we're going to head to Art of Glass and we're going to start this. So let's run. Let's keep running until we go pick up Art of Glass over here. Right here, yep. This is who you're gonna pick it up from. Alright, Art of Glass. The centerpiece of this year's Rising festivities is a work of art courtesy of Jabantia. Jabantia. I'm probably butchering his name. Who hopes to foster goodwill among the citizens of Ul'dah. This quest is available for a limited time only because, like I said, it is a seasonal quest. Hello there. Would I be correct in assuming you've come to view my exposition? Yes, you would be correct. You see, I'm an artist by trade, and my chosen medium is stained glass. While it's not the easiest thing to work with, the results are worth the considerable effort required. It's taken me a while to reach this point in my career, and this is actually my first public showing. I was wondering if it's not too much of a bother if I might give you a brief explanation of the subject matter. Sure. Then pray, my good fellow, cast your eyes at yonder pane. This right here is one of the items that you get for your house. The wall decoration. This is one of them. It was the final days before the fall of Delamud. Its inexplorable approach foretelling our impending doom. Panic spread like wildlife while many in their desperation turned on the Sultanate. Looting and rioting broke out across Ul'dah. To quell the masses, Her Royal Majesty Namo took the streets with a guard consisting of only 7 subjects, for they alone had the courage to stand with their Sultana. There she addressed the rabble. Heed me, my beloved citizens. The realm lies upon the brink of the Seventh Umbral Era. Yet, so long as we live, we must forget our compassion. Now is not the time to take from your neighbor, but to proffer him the hand of Sukar? 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 I don't know. Sukar? She was determined not to let the city that the immortal flames were risking their lives to defend tear apart in their absence. Her words brought the people to their senses. They laid down their arms and set about healing the wounds they themselves had inflicted on Ul'dah thanks to her majesty's impassioned speech. Those who returned from the battlefield found their home much as they had left it, a gleaming jewel in the desert. It all seems so long ago. To see the place today, you think that the people had entirely forgotten her words that day. The same hands that were once profound in Sakar now grasp greedily at every last coin, even if it means one fellow man must go hungry. It's times like these that we must remind ourselves of the sacrifices of those who came before us, which is why the Rising Festival is of such profound importance. I draw inspiration from Her Majesty's deeds all these years ago, and through my work perhaps others might do the same. Dear me, I better stop before I'm overcome with emotion. There are in fact matters to which I must yet attend, and if I'm not mistaken, you are an adventurer, yes? I've something, words, you might be able to help me with if you're willing. In addition to having my stained glass on display, it's been arranged that a wandering minstrel give a recital as part of the festivities. I'm looking forward to gathering as many spectators as possible, but I fear I'll struggle to cover the necessary ground by myself. Perhaps you could give me a hand. Sure. Of course. What I'm here for. 12 bless you, sir. I plan to hand out these flyers, and with 2 of us, we'll be able to reach twice the number of people in the same span of time. If you'd be so kind as to look for potential attendees around the steps of Thal, I'll head for the Sapphire Avenue Exchange. Let's meet there when you're done. Seasonal event, quest accepted. Okay, Art of Glass. Hand out the flyers on the steps of Thal. So once we do that, we have to meet him at the Ruby Exchange. Or, not Ruby Exchange, Sapphire, I think. He said. Not entirely sure. So, let's see exactly where we have to hand these flyers out. Pretty sure he said Steps of Thal. Yeah, so right in the center. So we can go to Gladiators Guild and head straight from there. Boom, 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 boom. This music is peaceful. I said Gladiators Guild. Yes, I did. Okay. There's one right here. Ah, didn't want to link it. Alright, there's one. We're gonna go to Weaver's Guild. Let's go to the shard over here and go to Weaver's Guild. Right here. Okay, and then the next one we're going to want to go to is Miners Guild. And right here. Okay, so we turned all those three in. Now we have to go speak to him. So we're just gonna click this, and then we're gonna click map, and he is at the Sapphire Avenue Exchange like he said he was gonna be. So that's where we're gonna go. Sapphire Avenue Exchange. We'll keep that up because that's something that we're gonna need. Alright, let's go talk to him. All done. Much appreciated, but I'm afraid I have run into a bit of a problem. I was in the process of handing a flyer to this gentleman when my friend Aston showed up out of the blue. As chance would have it, these two chaps are previously acquainted, though they do not appear to be on particularly good terms. But how am I supposed to pay you back if the amount keeps going up? If you coughed up the money on the day we'd originally agreed, there wouldn't be so much interest to pay. You've only got yourself to blame. But Aston, if your interest rates weren't so high, perhaps I'd been able to pay you back by now. I'm not saying you should wipe the slate clean, but surely you can come to a compromise. All I want is for him to honor our agreement. What's wrong with that? Besides, I've held up my side of the bargain, so why would I have to be the one to compromise? But let's say I give you the benefit of the doubt that you generally lack the means to pay me back. I'll grant you 1 week's extension, but if you still don't have the money by then, there'll be consequences. Only a week. Alright, you damn vulture. You'll get your gill. Then I'll be rid of you for good. I'm sad to say that such incidents are part of everyday life in Ul'dah. Someone in financial difficulty seems a moneylender as the answer to their woes, like an oasis in the desert. But it's only a mirage, an illusion of salvation, leading them into greater debt. Then again, many debtors will borrow money without any intention of paying it back, relying on an endless stream of short-term solutions. I hope that those who look upon my art will remember words of the Sultana and seek to help rather than exploit one another. Those two chaps you saw arguing just now would benefit from it. I'm sure you know Aston wasn't always like that. He's picked me up when I was down more times than I can count. We both grew up on the streets of Ul'dah, with no one to turn to but each other. The only reason I'm even here today, making a living as an artist of all things, is because of Aston and his talents for business. With a few words and a couple of handshakes, he could turn a gill into a gold mine. But as the years passed, it became an obsession. No matter how much coin he made, it was never good enough. I wish he'd realize there's more to life than personal gain, but nothing I say gets through to him. That's part of the reason why I turned to stained glass art in the first place. It can express my inner thoughts far better than words ever could. Well, my words at any rate. Oh goodness, I do apologize. You must think I'm an awful bore to rope you into helping, only to bombard you with complaints and sob stories. But enough of that. It's high time I returned to the exposition and prepared for the arrival of the minstrel. Minstrel. Alright, speak with him at the Ruby Road Exchange, so that's... We have to go back, okay. Where did I say I need to go? Adventurers Guild. I didn't say that out loud, so maybe that's why I didn't remember where I needed to go. Usually when I say things out loud, I kind of know where to go. My sprint wore off right at the wrong moment. Ah, there you are. I hate to say this, but we've run into a slight problem, and by slight problem I actually mean a rather huge catastrophe. So huge, in fact, I need a moment to compose myself. While I'm loath to impose on you any further, I'm feeling I may need your help again, or at least some moral support. Uh-oh. Okay. Well, that is the end of, basically, part 1 of this. Now, we're gonna do part 2, which is Glass from the Past. Oh boy. Alright, enough panicking. It's time for decisive action. While we were out distributing flyers, these children were a little overzealous. When it came to admiring my artwork, it seems they were unaware of the look but don't touch rule that normally applies to these things, and well, it fell on the floor and shattered. Oh boy. So it's not there no more. This calls for 6 of the best. No, their punishment must be more severe. I suggest staging a play based on the same scene. I'll be Nanamo. Do that one. Not the first thought that crossed my mind, I must admit. The recital is due to begin at any moment now, so the only viable option is to repair the smashed pane as best as we can. I think with a little adhesive here and there, spectators will hardly notice the cracks. Unfortunately, I do not have any to hand at present. While I run off to fetch some body agent from the Alchemist Guild, perhaps you could try piercing the broken glass back together. Piecing, not piercing. Don't worry, I'll show you how it's done. Okay. Are you ready to begin? Yes, sir. The following controls can be used to repair the stained glass. Move cursor left. Move left. Move cursor right. Move right. Select piece. Place piece. Cancel selection. Oh boy, I ain't gonna remember this stuff. Holy crap, can you... Okay, so that goes there. We did it! Woohoo! Yes, that's perfect. With a few days of adhesive, it'll be good as new. Well, almost. Should certainly suffice for the time being, though. Oh, it's pretty. Look at that. All's well that ends well. Yes, the children were beside themselves with worry, but now they're as delightful as I am. Oh, just a moment of nostalgia. I know from first-hand experience that moment of horror that comes when breaking an expensive piece of glass. Years ago, I was helping Aston with one of his ventures as an art dealer. I was in desperate need of gil, so he hired me to transport a few pieces. That was when I dropped a case containing some valuable stained glass. And I'll never forget that awful sound it made. Rather than curse me for my circumstances or fret over the money it had cost him, his only concern was whether I'd cut myself on any of the shards. Aw, well that's nice. So you see, that's why I don't blame children for their little misadventures. I suppose I'm following Aston's example. I mean, that's a good way to look at it. Actually there's one more favor I'd like to ask of you. I think if Aston were to see my stained glass, it might remind him of the days when we were things more important to him than money. There were things more important to him than money. Of course, I've tried various approaches in the past, and most of what I say to him goes in one ear and out the other. But if we come from someone else, if it were to come from someone else, good lord, such as your good self, he might be more inclined to listen. Would you mind having a word with him? Nah, I can do this. I got this. You're too kind. Perhaps you could start by handing him this flyer and going from there. Sounds good. I expect he's in the quicksand where he carries out much of his business. His clients tend to be a bit more malleable, or when they're in their cups, it seems. Anyway, if you could rouse his interest in the festivities, we'll leave the rest to him. Hiccup. Oh boy. Okay, so now we need to go talk to him, and he's over here. Alright, now back to the other one. So what did he say? I'll just have to wait and see. Whatever the outcome, I'm very grateful for all you've done, and I'm sure you'll be pleased to hear I've saved you the perfect spot from which to view the event. That was nice of him. Citizens of Uldal, by my words, be transported to the days before the calamity. A time when all hope seemed lost, as lesser moon hung low in the sky, a wave of terror washed over this fair city, turning neighbors against neighbor, brother against brother. There in the midst of chaos she stood defiantly. Defiantly, not definitely. And so our tale begins. Hearken now the Sultana's 7. Astonishing. I could see the events of that fateful day in my mind's eye as vividly as I see you now. Such a profoundly moving performance would surely have touched the hearts of everyone in attendance. Aston, you came after all. An artist you may be, but subtle you are not. Now is not the time to take from your neighbor, but to proffer him the hand of succor. Or a message to all of Ul'dah, I'm sure, but also one meant specifically for me. I have to admit that the Sultana made a good point, and it stands to this day. Maybe it's time I thought about earning an honest living. I knew you'd come around sooner or later. And Aston, I can take care of myself now, so you needn't go to such lengths to support me. I'm glad to hear it, but let's get one thing straight. I didn't become a moneylender just to cover your expenses while you carved out a career as an artist. I just didn't want you to compromise your ideas and the quality of your work for the sake of keeping a roof over your head. Now you can concentrate on doing what you do best, bringing joy to people through your art. As for me, I should find a better use for my skills. Perhaps I could go back to being an art dealer. That way you can create whatever works you please, while I seek out potential buyers. It certainly beats making commissioned pieces for some pretentious buffoon. You're struggling, we go into business together. You're suggesting, not struggling. Yes, unless you have any objections to working with a very recently reformed moneylender. Of course not, and I know just where to start, producing more paintings featuring the Sultana and her 7 trusty followers. Imagine the streets of Ul'dah lined with stained glass, depicting its illustrious history. The sparkling jewel of the desert will shine brighter than ever. This is more than I could ever dreamed of. Of course, none of this would have been possible without your kindness, Hanzo. You probably hear effusive words of praise quite often in your line of work, but I sincerely mean it. Thank you for all you've done. Quite welcome. Oh, and there was one other thing I meant to tell you. The wandering minstrel was wondering if he could have a word with you. In fact, he has a present of sorts to give you. He should be somewhere nearby. Best of luck finding him. Best of luck finding him. Alright, he's back here. Minstrel. I'm probably butchering that too. You come. As you are. As I knew you would. Speaks very highly of not only your skill at piecing together broken glass, but of your loyalty and compassion. Your virtues are many and varied indeed. Well, thanks. I appreciate that. Were it not for your contribution, the festival would have been without its centerpiece. My accompaniment of song was not but a garnish to the fine dish that was our mutual friend's glorious work of art. Perhaps you will allow me to express my gratitude with another piece I have composed. Looks like a bard. That's bright. Ouch. Whoa. What is happening? Greetings, warrior of light. You needn't be alarmed. You sure? They're also all little and cute. I think he's a gunbreaker. This is a world that exists outside your reality. Could it be a dream? A flight of fancy conjured by the weary mind. Perhaps or perhaps not. Allow me to introduce myself. I am Nikoi Yoshida. It gives me great pleasure to finally meet you, brave soul, who has chosen a life of adventure. Nikoi? I hope I'm saying that right. Nakai? It might be Nakai. Your travels have taken you to lands far and wide, and you have encountered people of all walks of life, each with their own ideas, hopes, and dreams. It's true. As time flows onward in a never-ending spiral, the course of history is guided by mortal hands. Though our existence be brief, our deeds echo for eternity. 7 years have passed since the lesser moon descended. 7 years since mankind rose from the ashes. Was a spectacular none shall ever forget, and that they live to tell the tale is cause for both celebration and reflection. When we cast our minds back, it is not sorrow that fills our hearts, but joy. For we have been afforded a second chance, that we may learn from the lessons of the past. As we set forth towards new horizons, those with a thirst for adventure will lead the way. While there may be hardships and strife on the road ahead, there is no obstacle that we cannot overcome if we believe in ourselves and each other. Countless kindred spirits share our journey, and it is through mutual respect and understanding that we may create a better world. The future is what we make it. By our words and deeds, we will forever be at your side, brave adventurer. You have our undying gratitude now and always. Well, thanks. I appreciate that. They're so cute. They're so adorable. The time has come for the vision to end. Time for your eyes to open from this waking. Ever will be watching over you and your deeds. Guide the realm unto peace and happiness, warrior of light. Gonna say, is that gonna blind me again? And lo, you are returned. Pray tell, are you left with pleasant memories, fleeting through they may be? That is well, for such visions are wont to fade all too quickly as the morning dew in the light of the rising sun. Mayhap another of my verses would make a suitable gift ere we part. In the wake of calamity, light descends once more to illuminate a world reborn, risen from fires of war. 'Neath the eyes of heaven, deception crumbles to dust. Those divided by malice, united by bonds of trust. On fields awash in crimson, battle raged far and wide. In the name of liberty, the courageous few turn the tide. Unto a distant realm, drowned in radiance unrelenting, strides forth the harbinger of night, iron will unbending. Pretty. I need to get rid of the earrings. Oh. Look at the fireworks! They're so party! taken so many screenshots of fireworks in this game. For the sake of their loved ones, there are those who take to the battlefield, and yet those who remain behind have their roles to play, protectors and protected providers and the provided for, principles upon which every nation is built. It is the duty of those who rule to ensure that these elements are kept in balance. Even if they must face great peril, the words of the Sultana ring as true true in the here and now as they did on that fateful day. May each of us take them to heart as we face a new dawn as one. Look at all those fireworks. It's like the grand finale. Look at that. Oh, this is the Final Fantasy symbol. That was cool. Alright, so seasonal event quest complete. You've unlocked the jigsaw puzzle minigame. Open the choice chest in any end room to try this activity. That's cool. Alright guys, well, that is it. We did the seasonal event of the Rising. I hope you enjoyed. As always, if you did, I would greatly appreciate if you comment, like, and subscribe. And until next time, guys. Bye, everyone.